everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Mindset series. If you're new here, my name's Rochelle, and if you're not new here, welcome back. I'm so happy to see you again, and today we are talking about something that's really interesting and definitely important when we're on our journey to success, and that is imposter syndrome. If you've ever felt like maybe you're one mistake away from everything falling apart or being found out, this video is for you. First thing I want you to know is that this is normal, and even the most successful people will feel this at some point. If we dive a little bit into what imposter syndrome actually is, it's essentially feeling like this thing that has happened to you is because of luck, or it's not real, or it just so happened to be perfect timing. It can also be believing that other people are more deserving than you, or that you're not deserving of this, or that these people are smarter than you, maybe you're not smart enough to have achieved this thing that you've achieved, and certain kind of personal thoughts along those lines. This is simply not the case. This does not happen to you through lack of skill. This happens to you because your identity doesn't align with the success you've achieved. And I'm sure if you've watched some of my previous videos, you'll hear me talk a lot about how embodying a successful version of ourselves is so important. And this is most definitely an important thing in preventing us from feeling like we're not deserving of the outcome that we have produced for ourselves. So if we look at when this sort of pops up for us in our journey, it can come along when we've maybe reached the next level, or we've kind of stepped it up in our business, or we've tried that new thing and it's helped us to level up. And this means that our identities change, right? Like with success comes a new identity. And the issue with the imposter syndrome is that our brain isn't caught up with the fact that we're this new person already and that we've achieved these things already. It's almost like you're doing something new and unfamiliar. So it feels so uncomfortable and so unreal, like you shouldn't be here, this shouldn't have happened to me. When at the end of the day, like, you're the one who put in the work, you're now getting the results, which is a fantastic thing. And instead of kind of looking at it like, this feels weird or this feels like I shouldn't be here, recognize the work that you've put in to get here. You have done so much work to get here, right? Like, you deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Another thing I want to touch on with imposter syndrome is sometimes it can actually occur just before our major success or a major breakthrough. And it's because we're starting to do things and starting to feel the momentum and the change that we've been working so hard towards, that all of a sudden we're feeling like we shouldn't belong here, and that no, this is too much, and that might actually make us put the brakes on. But at the end of the day, this should be the complete opposite of what you do. If you're feeling like an imposter, you're probably doing the right thing. You are making big moves towards the outcome you want. And we have to remember that with anything, like, the confidence is not just going to come out of thin air. We have to continually show up in these new environments and these new situations, doing these new tasks. Maybe you're in a new role, maybe you have this new identity. You have to continually be doing that in order to be confident doing that. And that's, I think, where we tend to feel imposter syndrome. We're not doing these things enough. Maybe we've only been doing this a month, maybe we've only been doing it a week, and we are not comfortable with the idea of doing it yet because we haven't simply done it enough. I think with the growth of social media, it can be really easy to compare yourself to other people, and for that to be even more of like feeding that imposter syndrome of you thinking that these people deserve this more than you, or that they're so amazing and you could never do that, when like that's not how it's going to be, right? If you really think about it, you are seeing someone's highlight reel. Just like I'm sure with what you post, it is a highlight reel. Like, there's plenty of behind the scenes things that you don't see or hear happen, and that makes us have this like ideal of these people that they are perfect and that of course they deserve it because look at how they are. They've done everything right the first way and all these things, when actually they've gone through the exact same the exact same path that you have. They've made mistakes, but they've shown up again and again and again. And you know what? They probably feel the imposter syndrome too, but there's no need to. You just need to reflect on the time, on your work, on your efforts, and realize that you've given so much. And although this is new and you're not confident or comfortable in these situations, there's no need to feel like an imposter. This is your life and you've created it. We have to remember we don't need to be the best. We just need to be constantly improving, and that's more than enough. When we look to reframe this kind of thoughts around the imposter syndrome, we have to think of feeling ready. And I think that's where a lot of this can stem from. If you don't feel like you're ready for the next move or the next chapter or the next level in your business, and it's so easy to feel like that because you're going to want to put in so much work to make things perfect, but at the end of the day, nothing is going to be perfect, and like, you need to just start, and once you're started, you can perfect from there. Waiting to feel ready is going to keep you stuck. And same with the imposter syndrome. If you're letting that imposter syndrome take over you and stop you from moving forward, you are going to be stuck. You're not going to be able to make the leaps and bounds towards the success that you need. So at the end of the day, we have to remember that you need to take strong action towards your goals. You can't let imposter syndrome or your self-doubt limit you here. This next part of the video, I kind of want to talk about a few tools that you can use in order to kind of overcome this and recognize when you are feeling it and when it's not really a valid thought. So maybe keeping a list of your wins, so like a list of evidence of things that you have achieved, so that when you start to feel like an imposter, or you're not confident, or you're not comfortable, or you're not okay saying yes to this opportunity because you don't feel like you deserve it, you have a visual and physical list to look back on, read all the things that you've done. Maybe you've hit 100 subscribers, maybe you've posted regularly on your schedule. Like, there's so many things that you could have achieved. You could have had 10,000 likes on your first photo. There's like a million different things that success or a win is going to be for you, but making a list of those and being able to reflect on them when you're starting to feel like you don't deserve this new thing is going to be really helpful in pushing you and making you remember, actually, yes, I did put in all of this work and I've come all this way. I do deserve this and I'm going to take this opportunity. Another sort of exercise which I've talked about so much is just becoming the person that you need to be to make that happen, and that's embodying that identity of that person. So maybe a good way to look at that is thinking, how would a person who succeeded at this thing act? What would they do in their day-to-day? What would they say if this opportunity arose for them? Would they take it or would they say no? And basically act like that person. Do what that person would do, and that will help you like so much in gunning for the success that you're after, instead of letting that imposter syndrome limit you where you are. And I think it's important to remember, like, you're probably not going to outgrow the imposter syndrome. If you're someone that has felt imposter syndrome, it's quite likely that you are going to feel it again and again in your journey to your success. And that's okay, as long as you recognize that there's ways to move past that and strategies you can use, like your list or just embodying a new identity. Then as long as it's not limiting you, it's not really that much of a problem. It's really, when we think about it, like, it's the things that we give our energy to that are going to either help us, like, make us or break us. And if we're giving our energy to imposter syndrome, then we're going to fall victim to imposter syndrome. But if we're giving our energy to the fact that there's new opportunities out there and things that we haven't yet learned and things that we want to do, then those are the things that are going to be the positive things, right? And they're going to push us towards the place we want to be. So I hope this has raised a little bit of awareness about what imposter syndrome is and how we can kind of break out of that and really use our mindset to reassure ourselves that we are deserving and that we are able to gain the successes that we want. We just have to recognize that we're in control, we're in the driver's seat, and we're the ones getting ourselves these results. These things didn't happen to us, we made them happen for us. And I think if you can remember that, then you're going to be absolutely okay. You're going to be able to move through this phase. Please like and subscribe this video. That would be amazing, and it would really support me in creating more of these videos to motivate you guys towards your success, which I would really appreciate. And yeah, I'll see you next time in the next episode of the Mindset series. Thanks for watching.